looking for?
I sent it a while back. I don't remember what the number was.
Okay. Do you need right away or no?
We should not need right away.
Okay. I'll look into that.
Thank you.
Looks like we are even, so I don't know when we could look. I do want to point out though, if we do give you any money, we come from the stuff that goes to the 2028, so we can look at that depending on how much that is. Are you still looking to let it in 2026?
I hope so. I mean, we've had,
For the railroads, it's good.
well, yeah, we've had a really good communication with Norfolk lately.
Okay.
That's our plan. Move forward until you.
Actually, we need,
Yeah, but isn't that,
oh, these, see it?
Charles, just a nitpicky little thing, but, 230018, transportation and conferences plan. It says travel. I mean, it's also travel, but
travel and comprehensive plan?
transportation and conference plan. It's just a nitpicky, that way it matches.
He's a planning snob. Or you can say travel's the main model.
Nope.
Is it a comprehensive plan?
It's, yeah, transportation and conference plan, that's fine.
Okay.
So we need 90,000 for right-of-way acquisition. It's already been settled, right?
Yeah, on that same,
For,
for St. Sands Street, she needs 800,000, but she's not gonna get that, right? But there's about 90,000 that have been accepted. And I don't think we're gonna get to raise money enough to clear those out, because they're gonna expire. Is there any way to keep at least those accepted ones going before they revert back?
which this 21048 or 47?
48.
80,000?
90.
Is that total?
That's the, she needs
That's
2 times
just
that.
the accepted offers.
Mhm. It's it's just the early pending ones here that. she
On
ran
top
through.
of that, I mean, we need 804,000.
Yeah, but your construction is way down.
Right. Well, we
So,
wanna clear these like immediately if we can.
I
But
think we can get the rest of it right away out of Ray's, but that's probably gonna be 2-3 months, and those accepted offers are about to expire. It'd be nice to get them cleared out,
Otherwise, we have to renegotiate.
yeah.
How long they usually keep those for? How long they good for?
90
So, I think it's 3 months you have to, you can kind of talk them into putting it off, but they're gonna start getting antsy here.
so how much do you need?
90
Federal or total?
total,
So we're talking like 70.
35 maybe, yeah. We're hoping that, I know you're the huge block, you gotta move to that bridge, but we're hoping it'll change.
Well, I know, but yeah.
New construction is listed.
Okay. I'll see what I can do, but it's gonna come out of the bridge. So, we might have to make something up somewhere else.
Just shorten the bridge.
Well, they're only putting the top on. We can just shrink no, I'm just thinking the thickness of the concrete.
Well, it's already too wide. Too wide. It's way too wide. Because you put a trail down there, now you don't have to.
Well, yeah, no, but if we, instead of going like 8 inches or 12 inches of concrete, we'll just go 6.
Works.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I thought my bridge engineer.
So it's for, is it 20, 27 construction?
It's 28, so I'll see what I'll see what I can do. We might be able to get some money in 26 or 27. So, okay. Moving on, 4.2, funding decrease. There wasn't a huge funding decrease, but it really came down to, there was a big decrease in Group 1. But it really came down to, for the Michigan City urbanized area, when the Census Bureau came out and did their restructuring of the urbanized areas, they really shrunk all the urbanized areas down. So while the region kind of grew in population, the urbanized areas kind of shrunk. Now
How does that make sense?
It's okay, so Catherine, I got
We
it.
had
because
a
people
meeting.
are moving out into the country. But what they did was, instead of, Michigan City, and normally the urbanized area would have been a little bit, I think that,
Johnson corridor.
yeah, the Johnson and the 35 corridor and stuff, well, they shrunk those corridors down. So there might have been houses off to the side or something like that, which now are not a part of that. So yeah, Kathy McAlp's areas, she probably got a little bit of an increase. But in Lake and LaPorte County, they lost, Lake and Porter County, there were 2 new urbanized areas created. Winfield, Lake of Four Seasons, and then Valparaiso, Shorewood Forest. So Valparaiso, Shorewood Forest is a Group 2.
Is its own now?
Yeah. Because they shrunk them down, and then they also changed the way they do their jumps between urbanized areas. So if you were close enough, they just kind of connected it in the past. Well, now they separate those out. So Winfield, again, butts right up against the northwest, the Chicago urbanized area. That's its own separate. So they lost 6,000 people, so to speak, in Winfield. So that's that money that they lost. So they lost about $2 million. So, and then, and they lost, that includes the amount that.
So that's a situation, so they have the same situation, just a little bit less than we have. It's Valpo and Porter County are making up a Group 2 in Porter County like we do here.
Right.
Essentially.
Well, yeah.
Wow.
So their money from Valparaiso is being combined with Group 1.
Oh,
So, because Valparaiso has a lot of bigger projects.
yeah.
They've got a total of, I think, $14 million worth of projects, and they only get $2 million a year. So over the 5 years, it's 10. So, to be able to fund those, we combine the funding.
Oh.
So they even combining the Valparaiso and the Chicago urbanized areas, they still lost $2 million because of the Winfield, which is now Group 3.
So essentially Valpo doesn't compete, but they are.
So we've combined them,
They combine them so they compete.
so they compete.
Winfield's different.
So Winfield
Group 3
is,
now?
yeah,
Winfield's growing.
right. And what I've told everybody is in Valparaiso and Winfield is make sure that you guys steer the developers to develop to the north and to the west. Because that way the next urbanized area, or the next census comes out.
I mean, that's not bad planning to do that anyway, but 'cause that's where the rest of the organized area, still,
You keep it all.
yeah.
But what a wacky, okay, wow. I'm glad-
It's the
I'm
way
glad they didn't
there's,
screw us over.
it's the way the Census Bureau in DC rearranged it, so. And it's not like anybody else, that was the only group 2 that was created in the state of Indiana.
Oh, yeah.
Winfield's group 3, there were a lot of group 3s that were created. Westville's now an urbanized area.
Group 3 is beyond the state, right?
Yeah. Group 3 and group 4 are in that. All in that, you're right. So. It wasn't a big decrease for this area, but, I wanna say. I wanna say it was, we had 96% of what we had last year, so. Again, not a big deal for us, kind of everything was kind of status quo, but for group 1, it was a big deal. 4.3, I should have put that on my laptop. Just and I had a half hour to do this and I didn't.
That was a holiday week. I
Yeah.
understand.
Thinking too much about Thanksgiving in a couple of days.
You would have been informed on Wednesday when you said everybody have a nice Thanksgiving tomorrow.
No, my staff would have said, see ya.
Yeah.
Like, she's not here tomorrow.
You should just log onto this open network that they just created. You can get anywhere now. Don't need all those passwords.
See, I've got to log into the hard drive like 5 times before I can get in there.
I used to write all this stuff
Oh
down.
my God.
Now I don't even write it down. I just like you said,
Yeah, for
I
new
said
one.
I said do it.
New one,
I
that's
forget
what I do.
password. I don't know. We're
It's
not
like
gonna get
password,
it.
just
Yeah.
get in and Give me a code.
Oh, it took me two. Okay, the summary from this year's NOFA. This is for fiscal years 26 through 30. But mainly we're looking at 29 and 30 because it takes 4 or 5 years for a project from beginning from PE to all the way through to construction. We had an estimated $180 estimated available. 36 of it was for infrastructure projects. 72 million was available for transit. And as I explained, there was less money this year because of a couple things. One, the urbanized areas. We still are seeing some inflation. It seems to be slowing, but it is still there. And then many construction items still have long lead times. So a lot of people ask me, why are we even having a NOFA? Well, for 3 reasons. One, we still have, at least in group 1, we have some large transformative projects, and we still need to show that we have a need. And then we also need to program HSIP, CMAQ, CRP, and Protect funds. Those funds, there's a big push with Federal Highway and the states for HSIP for safety projects. So we need to program and show that we are doing that. The programs projects in these were just surface transportation. The transit had their own NOFA, which just ended last week, I think. We had 3 projects for air quality, 4 projects for complete streets, 1 project for environment, 1 project for trails, 3 projects for new roadways, 3 projects for planning, 10 projects for roadway modifications, and then we did get 1 project for transit expansion, the surface transportation NOFA. So that one will move over to transit, I believe. And then these are who submitted the application. So the pie chart can be kind of difficult to see who submitted what, but basically off to the right is the table of who submitted: Burns Harbor, Cedar Lake, Crown Point, Gary, Hammond, Lake County, LaPorte submitted 2 projects. Maryville, Nurpsey, Portage, Porter County, Cherville, and Valparaiso. So LaPorte's the only one that's submitted for Group 2 funds. So some of the metrics this year, the average score was 53.44. So I know in the past, average score was somewhere in 75. So we tightened it up, and you can see how it's tightened up. The total PE requested was a little more than 10 million. Total right-of-way requested was 7.8 million. Total CN requested was almost 52 million. So obviously, we're not going to be able to fund everything, but we'll do what we can. And then CE was 6.8 million. And then of the programs, Protect funds there were 2 projects. No one submitted anything for CRP. TA, we had 1 project. HSIP, we had 6 projects. CMAQ, we had 7. So we'll probably shift some of that CMAQ to CRP to help that area. And then STBG requests were 10. There were 10 projects for STBG funds. I tried to break them into where they would best fit to be the most restrictive. I mean, Obviously, to get HSIP and CMAQ, we've gotta get approval from NDOT, so, but this is where I'm trying, what they look like they could go for. Next steps, so now through January 10th, staff will be reviewing the applications for completeness, and they'll reach out to everybody if there's something missing. They'll also be kind of scoring them, and then they will invite the various ERCs or LPAs to the working groups. There used to be the top level committees, but with the new committee format that NERC has, they're now working groups. That kind of changed over the summer after the TIP was, or the NOFA was already set. So the working groups are going to be reviewing the projects and giving recommendations to the transportation committee. So they will invite the LPAs to those meetings so that the LPAs can argue for their projects. And then January 10th to the 31st, NERC will model its TIP program for air quality conformity. And then February 5th, it says 11th in here, but I realized that the Transportation Committee has their meeting is actually on February 5th, not the 11th. So they're gonna meet to vote and recommend a list of work projects to add to the TIP. We do have a leeway in here because it could be March, so it could be February or March, so there is some float in there. March 10th through April 10th, so we have a month we could float in here, but the TIP will be out for a public comment during that time. And then May 15th is the TIP will be presented to the NERC Commission for approval. And if it's approved, then it'll be sent to NDOT and USDOT for approval. So Federal Highway and Federal Transit. So that's a brief synopsis of the NOFA. Are there any questions? Any slide that someone wants to see? If you don't have my contact information, there it is. And then moving on, 4.4, loaning of funds to Michigan City to Northwest UGA with prepayment 2028. We kind of talked about this last in September. Do we want to loan funds to Group 1 and then get that back in with repayment in 2028 for the bridge in the Michigan Boulevard Bridge?
You need the money, right?
You know, of course. That was, one of the reasons why we didn't apply for it, and I told you this, was left that open. You guys do what you needed, you didn't put nothing.
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons.
So what year is it coming out of?
So it would come out of 2025.
Okay, that's what we're showing.
Right. And it would be paid back in 2028. And right now, the bridge, it's a superstructure replacement. So the bridge estimate is 4.3,
Yeah,
which is like 3.6.
Yeah, it's so CN is 4.13. 4.13.
Yeah. So there's a couple other small projects in there in 2028. I think you can see. I think there was maybe another year where we were going to loan a little bit of some pennies to Group 1 to be repaid back in that year too.
Is there a specific year they
group one needs it more than any other year, they just always.
Well, they need it this year because they're really tight. So,
What are
And
the,
then-
what are the transformative projects?
Cheryl's Kennedy Avenue, and then Willow Creek Road in Portage, or in Porter County. So they're gonna extend Willow Creek from 700 down to 130, eventually 8 to 30. Is what their desires are.
Just, on your spreadsheet, Charles, you have repayment to Group One for those funds in 2029.
2029.
You got on your spreadsheet here. Bridge 512.
Yeah, it's there those 20 years.
Pay back to Group One in 2029, and the principal.
Pay back to,
Did you have to pull from 29 also?
yeah, I actually have, I'm showing $660,000 in 2029,
Okay. So pay
But-
back-
but that's gonna be anything else.
Okay.
That could be anything else. I mean, it could be 400,000, it could be 800,000, so we could fund those two things and then it would come out of 2029. So we'll take care of those two projects.
Like that project, right?
I worked on that thing 20 years ago.
Yeah, we did.
I was a town engineer in Cherville, so
It's
yeah.
been going on for a
A
while.
long
Yeah,
time.
it has. So just so you know, there's a local tracks bridge that's going over there, and then it's going in 2025, and then also the abutments.
Is that the underpass under the tracks? The local tracks bridge?
No, there's an overpass over the railroad tracks
Yeah.
on Kennedy Avenue.
Oh, yeah, further north, right, almost.
Junction.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit north of Junction. So, yeah, they're doing that this year, and then I believe in 2028, they're doing, north of Main Street, and then either 27 or 28, and then 2030, 29, 2030 is the idea, is that they would go from Junction to US 30. On the 30 on 30. So, what are your thoughts on loaning Group One the money?
So you would get back in 28,
28.
which is 27, July of 27.
Yeah.
So that's 2.5 years.
So it'll take that.
Which is
Right,
probably
to get
what it
the
would take to
bridge
get
rolling,
that
right.
to that point, right? So it's,
This is where I asked for,
Payback time.
this is where I asked for a
Motion?
Yeah,
motion.
I think, well, my only thought is I wanna make sure that, if we're doing this, that we don't like find other things later. Wanna go back and say, hey, you, Group One, you need a little more in this year or something like that.
Well, if we do, and we would pay it back.
That's the number.
They would have to pay it back.
Yeah, and then, we might be able to, locally though,
Support straight.
we might be able to do something there too, as far as our key bridge fund, maybe throw a little bit more under 20 or 25, so would help some way.
Mitch did reach out to Kathy to see if Kathy would help. And our thought was if Kathy could throw in $1 million, then it'd be good. Kathy said no, she's booked.
Yeah, basically. Nicely said. Diplomatic way.
We know Kathy, so. So, yeah, so NDOT wasn't able to help them out. Normally, she has in the past taken care of bridges in urbanized areas.
So one thing I would request is that, we, in theory, will have some projects going, and hopefully the city can have some construction in, 29, 30.
Right.
And, maybe we can at least pull some PE and right away ahead, so that we're not just starting our PE in 29 and 30.
So, looking at this, in 26, we've got 56,000. Actually, that's 86,000, because there's 30,000 for change orders that are set aside. And typically, Group 2, Michigan City urbanized area, doesn't use these change orders. Doesn't have a whole lot of change orders. So there's 86,000. And then in 2027, there's 500 and almost 600,000. Just under 600,000. So, yeah, we could. We could easily get those going, and then depending on what the construction costs are, we might even get both of those.
That'd be good. So I mean, I'll make the motion to, do the loan between Michigan City and, Northwest UZA for repayment in 2028, so that the county can do the bridge project.
I will second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Thanks.
Okay.
This way you'll have a bridge, so that you can utilize some of your projects, you know.
Yeah.
Well, he's just hoping to use that bridge when it doesn't fall on him when he comes to the meetings. Okay, thank you. Moving on, any other new business?
Oh,
Okay.
before you adjourn, so is our business with the extra money we need more appropriate to go to our quarterly tracking, or are we talking about that today?
We're talking about the 80,000?
I'm talking about that plus the 800 we need for right away, plus a new PE contract.
So that is all being taken care of through the raise grant. Because your construction costs are down.
Right, that's what I'm saying, we haven't sat down and discussed, is that approved, is that all being moved
Good
around?
question, we're working with Mitch like now on that. He needs to get the Fed raise agreement modified to shift the money over.
Okay, so he's working on that.
And we told him how much he needs to shift for you.
So our savings on the construction side is gonna be shifted to right away, so we should be covered to move forward.
Yeah, right away, MP.
And then my only other question on this 88 and some change, what are the next steps to get that money secured? Is that in addition to the open and out PO?
Yeah, we got that open PO, and that's probably the only way to get it in a timely manner, right? Can you just add to it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if we, I'll look at it. What I'll do is I will send me an email. And I'll look for, Nick, if you could send me an email too. I'm sure I can find it. I can probably find it. But if you send me an email, that'll remind me.
Yeah.
I'll take that out of the 1.2 million, I should say. And, so we'll fund those projects, or get the PE and right away taken care of those. Okay.
So how long do you think that'd take? Just, trying to time when we're gonna be able to cut those checks. And it's only because they tell the property owners
So-
when they can expect them.
So this is, I believe, this is something we'll need, I would say, verify with Brianne. But I think you could go ahead and take care of those now, because there's already a PO on that.
Yeah, it's out of
Have
money.
you expended all the money on that?
Yeah,
You have?
yeah.
So has the appeal been closed?
No, it's still open, we just don't have enough to pay these.
Yeah, we just got to the max.
I
Okay,
think there's $2,000 left in it.
so, yeah, let Brianne know so they don't close that. And then if they don't close it, then next month, we can move some money over there, over to that project.
Perfect.
And then if she doesn't close it,
Well, she won't close it because it just had activity in it.
Yeah.
well, but if it gets down to a certain level, she has the authority to close it.
Seriously, certain.
I think it was
No, if you get down to like,
500, wasn't it?
if you get down to like
Oh, yeah, there's like,
$100 or something.
no, there's like
Oh,
$2,200 in it maybe.
She had mentioned at some point.
Yeah, so,
And we
yeah,
actually probably have some parcels that would be able to pay, they're just not.
so,
Right.
yeah, but if you inform her
She won't.
that you have some more money
Coming
coming,
into it, she won't close it.
right.
Inactivity is another issue, so is it 4 months?
Yeah, but they've got, no, it's 6 months. But it's usually when you get around 7 or 8, then it's like you're really playing with fire there. But if you let her know that you've got some more money coming, so don't close the PO.
So you want me to just shoot an email, draft an email and just copy you and Brian and what we're done?
You know,
Steps, okay. Easy
Yeah.
enough.
and then and also let me know how much you need. How much total, and then we'll federal. So,
Yeah, we're good there.
I have no idea how long it's gonna take to get that raised, money shifted over, but based on how long it took last time, I'm gonna guess we ran it for 3 months, don't you think? To get
well, it's, we've already got a process going on.
Okay, good.
So, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be sometime in January.
That'd be good, okay.
So,
I'm holding your supplemental until all this goes through.
That's what we figured it'd be January or possibly later, hopefully.
and that's what Carrie told us, is January.
Good.
Could you?
And we can talk about that after the meeting.
This is too much.
Anything else?
You can't advance it quicker. Which?
Okay, next item is adjournment. All those in favor signify by standing up. Oh, is everybody signed in?
I guess
So move.
Well, wait a minute, we're question. The next meeting,
I'm up now.
Yeah, no.
so I guess we're trying to figure out where the next meeting's gonna be.
When is it?
It is February 18th.
1 PM.
I vote against the vertical.
I'm fine if we just wanna, if it makes it easier, just schedule it at NERC.
Go to NERC,
Everybody's
yeah.
okay with that, and, if we decide later we wanna change it back to somewhere over here, maybe we'll have technology worked out.
We
And
go to the third, we went to.
Honestly, I'm being
Go to Michigan
snowstorm.
City, let's go to County, let's go to County.
Yeah, let's see how their Wi-Fi is.
Try that. We could try